Kev, let me just get your initial reaction off the news of Dak signing with the Cowboys.
So I mean, like we discussed a couple of times over the last couple of months, we knew it was coming. It was going to be this deal coming to fruition, or it was going to be another tag in which Dak had vividly expressed he didn't want to do another tag. He wanted to get this deal done. Obviously, we know Dallas has been putting this off for a couple of seasons. So, I mean, when I saw the news kind of drop down while I was on the phone with Isabel, I was like, oh boy, let's see what Jerry gave him. Let's see what Dak's camp kind
Hmm.
of got. And then I read the numbers and I was like, wait a minute, to quote Kevin Hart, like, wait a minute, 160 over four. So, in looking at the makeup of the contract, the deal has a maximum value of $164 million,
Hmm.
including 126 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
And it includes a no trade clause and a no tag provision pending, the contract runs out. So over the next 3 seasons, Dak's making $42 million with a $75 million season in the first year and a $66 million signing bonus included in there.
Hmm.
Let's just do the math. Quarterbacks of top tier caliber money that are getting paid this. He's basically the second highest paid quarterback in football behind Patrick Mahomes yearly.
Yep.
Dak Prescott is not the second best quarterback in the NFL.
Hmm. I would agree.
So I'm literally looking at it. I'm looking at the breakdown of it, and I'm just saying he's valuable. He is very well above average. He clearly is the guy for Dallas and for Jerry Jones. But this is what happens when Dallas foregoed their opportunity to sign him in the past. The price went up. Pat got paid. Deshaun got paid. So Dak's camp, like we talked about the last 2 episodes, it was due. He was due up. And like we discussed right before the episode, I truly believe this was kind of a makeup for Dallas not signing him. I mean, $75 in the first year of the contract alone is absolutely insane. It's more than Pat's getting paid in a year, like 75 million for 1 year, basically.
Hmm.
So it's like I said, we talked about it. It's like Dallas kind of saying, "Hey, we fucked up. We didn't pay you when we should have. Let's kind of put this towards the front of the contract. Let's pay you this big amount of money because we didn't get you last year." And I don't know. I'm happy he got his money. I'm happy after that gruesome injury, Dak has something to build off of, be positive about. He's finally got a secure financial stability. Not that $33 million of a franchise tag the last season was, I don't know, insecure. I would love to see a tiny piece of that contract in some time in life. But again, like I said, I'm happy for him, but I'm definitely concerned because if he got this, now we know it's a domino effect once again with upcoming quarterbacks. What's Lamar going to get paid?
Yep.
And so on and so on and so on. So the market just keeps blowing out of proportion. And I really think that I think Pat Mahomes kind of screwed everybody in terms of, having cap space for a team that has a franchise quarterback.
Yeah. I look at this deal as kind of like, all right, it finally happened. It just seemed like it couldn't seem like to me that they were going to kick the can down the road another year if they were just going to franchise tag him again. Just I was actually kind of surprised at the progression of this deal getting done today because I remember I sent you a tweet probably earlier this afternoon where there had been some progress made between Dallas's front office and Dak on a possible deal, and then literally just a couple hours later, you got Dak signing this 4 year, $160 million contract. Like you mentioned, he's getting a $66 million signing bonus, over $120 million guaranteed. So for Dak personally, this is a great contract for him. He finally has that security long term that he's been really looking for the last couple years. Now, the long term ramifications for the Cowboys is okay, they have Dak locked up. Now, what can they do with the defense? Because the defense has been a nightmarish situation for the last few years. They have statistically one of the worst defenses in NFL history. And can they be able to remedy that problem going into next season now that they have Dak signed for the next 4 years? That's going to be the major thing moving forward, specifically with the Cowboys. Like you mentioned, you actually kind of stole the point that I was going to make about with Dak signing his deal. Now, how does this move the quarterback market for young and upcoming quarterbacks that are looking to get their second contract after their rookie deal is done? So obviously, the next quarterback that you're probably going to be looking at is Lamar Jackson within, I'd say, either the
Couple of
next,
weeks.
within the next couple of weeks, maybe a month or two from now. We'll kind of see how those dominoes fall. But I mean, just to kind of wrap up my take on this, I'm glad that they were able to work out this deal between Dak and the Cowboys. It's really kind of been a long time coming. And I mean, to me, it basically ensures that the Cowboys may be the best team in the division right now. I know the NFC East is nothing really there's not much to say about that division since it's basically just a dumpster fire, but it basically ensures that Dak's the best quarterback in the division moving forward.
So my final take on this is just the sheer fact that I need the audience to comprehend. When you give one player this much money, you're taking away from literally every aspect of your team that you need. 75 million in one shot basically takes away everything you just said in terms of signing or adding anybody on the defensive side outside of the NFL draft, because Dallas is going to basically have no money, and they're going to be what do we do the math? About 20 to $25 million over the cap this year?
I would think so.
So you're already over the luxury. You already have players like Ezekiel Elliott and some of your offensive linemen that were under contract for the last 2 to 3 years that you still have to pay out. You still have to pay out some of the people on your defensive side of the ball, like Sean Lee, like Jalen Smith, and so on and so forth. And you're really looking at, okay, Dallas got their quarterback, but their defense is about to literally be the same or get worse because you're going to have to cut people. Mm-hmm. Well, he sucked last year at middle linebacker, or he was a bad corner, or he didn't really get a lot of reps at defensive end. So we're going to let him go. So you got to bring new people into a system for cheap that don't have much experience, or veterans that are willing to take a pay cut to come play in Dallas. Now, what does that do? That literally ties your hands and your feet, and you got to pray that Dak basically throws for 5,000 to 6,000 yards and 50 to 60 touchdowns, and the offense averages 35 to 40 a week. In the NFC East, that might be reasonable, maybe not against Washington, but overall, are you really telling me that you've just basically put your whole future on one player? Dak is great, like I said, but he isn't a Patrick Mahomes. Your offense is relatively dynamic to a certain extent. Your offensive line is aging. Just 4 years ago, we were talking about Dallas having one of the greatest offensive line in history, and their offensive line was absolutely injury prone pretty much all last season. So we're kind of looking at this now saying Dak's getting paid. He's got CD. Amari got paid. Zeke got paid. You got who was that other? Michael Gallup. He's going to be due up for a payday soon. So their offense is there, but their defense is relatively the exact same, if not worse. So they might win the division, but going forward, they pretty much just bet their whole future or their win now situation on one player. And that just does not seem feasible.
That was the point that I was kind of thinking about, just like the impact and the significance of this deal getting done is, look, I remember even in the games that Dak was in last year, they were all high scoring games, and they weren't necessarily against the toughest competition either. I remember they were playing the Atlanta Falcons last year. If it wasn't for an egregious onside kick where basically Atlanta just kind of like let the ball go 10 yards before they actually touched it, and Dallas ended up getting the ball. I believe they won on a game-winning field goal, 40-39. Yeah, granted, Dallas got the win against Atlanta in that specific instance, but the defense gave up 39 points. And that's going to be the major issue with this team moving forward, is that this team is going to be so reliant on what the offense is able to produce. And look, I don't want to be too down on Dak Prescott. It's a major day. It's a big day for him.
Oh, 100%. Nothing to take away from his camp. Great deal.
But look, he's an inconsistent quarterback. His highs are great, but when he's inconsistent, he looks like a mediocre quarterback. That's the thing that they're going to have to be able to work this out over time. It's like they need Dak to be on all the time. They need him to basically put up MVP type numbers for this deal that he just got. So I think with the Cowboys moving forward, I think they're still going to be probably the best team to come out of the division, but at what cost? They gave Dak that boatload of money today, but defensively, I don't see them improving anytime soon unless they switch defensive coordinators and they bring in a new system. Because, I mean, look, you can bring new players into the system, but if the system is not working to the way it's supposed to, you're going to see exactly what happened last year, where that defense is going to give up 30 to 35 points a game. They're going to give up over 350 to 400 yards a game against not even the best offenses, against just your typical run-of-the-mill average offenses. So, like I said, great day for Dak, but for the Cowboys long term, now they got to focus on the defense because the defense is the most glaring weakness of this team.